Well, good morning everybody. Welcome back to the bottle picking adventures channel. We're back out. Somebody's been through this whole neighborhood already. Not sure when, but blue beer cans and pop cans are missing from houses. Which is odd to see pop cans missing. Yeah, there's a lot of pop can lids missing, which I just passed up on last night. I wasn't feeling like grabbing pop cans, but it's interesting. Somebody else is out here doing all that. So anyway, we'll check this one really quick. Nothing. You can see pretty well. One of the things I want to talk about right now, which is politics. Politics are never really something you should talk about, but whatever. I'm going to talk about politics. As soon as we're done with this one. Okay, so right now there are tariffs being put on by Donald Trump on Canadian goods and products. I can't remember all of what was said, but I know Trump was putting tariffs on our products. So then we retaliated by saying we were going to put tariffs on it, and then Donald Trump did more tariffs. And I know everything was constantly changing, so I don't know whether my information is recent or not, and by the time this comes out it won't be, but one of the things that the Premier of Ontario did, and a few other premiers of other provinces, I don't know if all the provinces did it now or if most of them have, but they got all their liquor stores to pull American products off the shelves. When I say American products, beer, wine, and spirits, and I'm assuming that includes canned cocktails. I've never heard anybody mention canned cocktails, and I'm still finding a lot of the American canned cocktails like Twisted Tea. So right now when you go to the LCBO, you can only get Canadian liquor and liquor from other countries. So if it's made in the US, you can't find it at the LCBO. And the LCBO is the Liquor Control Board of Ontario. So the liquor stores in Ontario are owned by the government. There's no private liquor stores. The only stores where you can buy liquor is the liquor store that's owned by the government. Convenience stores do sell wine and canned cocktails now, as well as beer, but all of it's distributed by the beer store and the LCBO. The beer store is privately owned by 5 big beer brands. I can't remember which beer brands it is, but 5 of them own the beer store. And they founded the beer store here in Ontario because they wanted their bottles back. the beer companies wanted to reuse their bottles, so they founded the beer store here in Ontario. So yeah, so with the Trump tariff threats and the Canadians retaliating, right now, at least in Ontario, you cannot buy any products that are made in the U.S. Now, people will obviously still have them. People that stocked up beforehand, people that brought it back from the States, people that are still, right? Some people that are still traveling to the States will probably be bringing stuff back, like you do, stop at duty free or whatever. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what type of beers we find. Are people going more patriotic and drinking Ontario craft? My speaker's talking to me. But yeah, like for example, I'm going to end the clip here, but I'm going to talk more about it at the next stop. Okay, so like I was trying to say earlier, I would say 90% of American beer is made in Canada. It's not all made in Ontario, but it is made across Canada at different times. Right, Anheuser, Molson, Coors. If you look what Anheuser owns, it's basically half our beers. I'd say Molson, Coors, and Anheuser-Busch make up like 60-70%. And then we also make a ton of wine here. Like in Ontario, we have a ton of wine vineyards down by Niagara Falls. Crown Royal, one of our biggest whiskey drinkers, is Canadian. But yeah, like, we don't need the American products. Like, people enjoy the American products, but you can still drink your Busch and your Anheuser and your Coors products because they're made here in Canada by Canadians. Like, if you want to be more patriotic, you could drink craft beer, but everything's made here anyway. Anyway, that's all I got really to say about it. I'm just curious to see what we find. We're not finding a ton of liquor bottles so far, but there are lids for this in here. My sister, honestly, has so many of these now because I find them so often. But we'll add another one to the collection. I think I got like 6 or 7 of them now. That's a lot of Starbucks cups. I'll see you at the next one. I was stopping to take a picture for the thumbnail, and you guys, of course, sideways again, but road bottle and can. You can find cans almost anywhere. All you gotta do is slow down and take a closer look. Okay, everybody, we were out for 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm using my workout app today. It's the Map My Ride app. Honestly, if you want to map your ride, it's the same one Mr. Scrappity uses. The Map My Ride app. Yeah, it's literally called Map My Ride. Yeah, we did 14.82 kilometers. Split speed was 6.5 kilometers an hour. We were out for 2 hours and 15 minutes. We're going to call it 2.5. We filled the bag. That's the main objective. Pop cans. Tiny bit in there, like you guys saw. 25, 30, 40, 45, 50 bucks. Not bad for 2.5 hours, honestly. Got some egg cartons for the egg guy. So we had a whole stack of it. Quite funny if you'll save them up and then throw away a stack. But we got a stack of them. But yeah, picked up some liquor bottles off camera. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. As always, have a great day. I'll see you next time I'm out collecting.